Welcome to the Uncut Chronicles. I'm Crystal.
I'm Andy.
And we are coming to you with information and topics every day, such as
culture, trending topics, shit your mammy probably don't need to hear.
So come on in with us so we can share more with you about our day. Hey everybody, I'm Crystal.
And I'm Andy.
And we welcome you to y'all, it's about to be on fire, to an amazing episode. We talking about, what topic, Andy?
Who the fuck did I marry? This is a therapy session, guys.
Who y'all out here marrying?
This is a therapy session because I feel like we all need, this is the Facebook group that we all need to talk about this shit because that shit was absolutely fucking
nuts.
Consider this podcast, this episode, that's probably going to be a part 2, your therapy session to unpack this fucking story.
Listen, Risa Tisa was out here. She put her whole life on the line to tell us this story. First of all, she met the man during quarantine. Okay. Can have a lot of grace during that. It was difficult to meet people. You met people, usually online dating. Y'all remember social distancing. And they decided to, hey, we're still hanging out, going on dates. We should move in together because they're about to just really put us on lockdown. They were going on dates, consistently at that point, talking, and they thought it was a good idea.
Big mistake. Big mistake.
What do you think the first mistake was?
First mistake was during quarantine, you didn't know who was a homosexual.
Woo! And he tried to be a convicted felon lying.
He was a homosexual. I feel like
homeless.
I feel like during COVID, the homosexuals was at their peak A game because you don't know who was homeless because your ass couldn't get out the house to figure out who was homeless and who wasn't because we was locked down. We was on, curfew and all that types of shit. So I'm like, baby, your first mistake was moving in the homosexual that you could not confirm did not have a home.
And half of y'all weren't paying y'all rent and bills anyway if you didn't have to, even though there was a land of milk and honey worth of flowing money going on.
Them PP loans was popping. I wish I was in the number. I mean, not right now because y'all going to jail. But back then, I wish I had a PP loan and I wish I was getting them unemployment checks because y'all was balling the fuck out during COVID.
But because they couldn't verify as much because courts are backed up, all kinds of things were like in the know. She didn't know his real name. It was a hot mess. Then she got pregnant by him. Then he didn't show up. Then she miscarried the baby. Then he lied about where he worked because he was the VP, but then she didn't get no BMW, no Audi, no nothing. And the $700,000+ house didn't come.
Crystal, I literally was like, baby, the red flags was boom, 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 boom. How the fuck? And I was sitting, and at first, I got so irritated with her because I'm like, bitch, the red flags are screaming.
She said she called it, what did she call it? Risa Tisa called it the United Nations, the red flags.
Literally. And I was like, how are you not seeing these red flags that you need to leave this fucking man alone? Girl, I'm scared as fuck.
Wait. When he said he was the VP,
that looked like a factory worker.
Of the condiment plant. We didn't get to see his face, but if we did.
I did see him.
Where?
He's on Facebook. Okay, I gotta send you that.
You was a liar.
In this video, we're gonna put the picture up in
here. Was
he
attractive?
No.
She said he was fine.
No, the fuck he was not. You know what? Let me tell you.
You should have sent me that.
I'm gonna put in this video and I'm gonna put the picture right here. Let me tell you, this man looked like a forklift driver.
That's a damn lie. Like with the random haircut and everything and kind of rough, scruffy look, like
the razor bumps with the disconnected chingy early 2000 thin ass goatee beard. And I said, you have got to be fucking kidding me.
Do you think the peen was popping?
No, he looked like he breathing hard like me right now. No.
Wait a minute. The peen had to be popping a little bit, or else she
absolutely not. And no, the penis was not popping. He looked like he over here just like me, breathing hard as hell, cannot breathe, cannot get through it. No.
What do you think it was then that kept her?
It was like she said, it was her religious construct on how God doesn't like divorce and he hates divorce, and I want to be a Proverbs whatever wife, and I want to be this wife, and it's my turn. I wanted to be chosen. I wanted to be my turn. I wanted to be married. and overlooking that this man is literally saying like, no. I'm like, even God probably was like, no.
Remember he proposed to her with a ring from the mall? And it was like, I guess I'm marrying you. And she's like, that's how romantic it was. And I was like, sis, is anybody
that should have told
home?
you right there. Did God want that for you to be treated like?
But we've all been young and made some silly mistakes.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair.
Yeah. Like,
fair.
Listen, and when you're young, you don't know what you don't know. So, sure. but the fact that it came with no romance, no nothing. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then when she finally announced that she was pregnant, when she said she was pregnant, I was like, no, please don't say you're gonna get pregnant. Please say you're not gonna get pregnant. Please don't get pregnant.
I was like, she'd be like, my child. I was about to be like,
dear God, the baby's probably 4 by now.
This baby is already a psychopath. I was like, Father.
And then when she ended up miscarrying the baby, this fool didn't even show up to the hospital, pick her up on time.
The miscarriage, and y'all gonna feel some type of way.
Feel it.
But I'm telling you right now, that was a blessing in disguise for her. And as somebody that have had miscarriages before, and all the times that I thought I needed a baby,
no, man.
All the times that I was like, I really wanted this to work, and I did not need that baby. Like, I thank God for my 2 now, because I'm in a better place in life to have these 2. But all those times that I thought I needed a baby, God was really like, fetus deletus. You ain't need that.
Come get her.
You ain't need that.
Not fetus deletus.
Yeah, you didn't need that. Sit your hot ass down. Sit down, Miss Cream Pie. You didn't need that. And you know what? I'm grateful for that.
I'm gonna need some of y'all start using the back door. Okay?
Use the other hole.
Use the other one. You got some other ones. Use the other holes, because clearly you don't need to be procreating with some of these people. When she found out that he lied about his siblings and he had a twin brother.
Stop. It wasn't even the siblings that was bothering me. It was the fake conversations on the phone.
Hey man, what y'all doing over there?
Hey, Chris said hello. Tell him hello, Risa. Hey, how you doing? He said he good. How are you?
Yeah. You know, the fam tonight, we meeting up. We're gonna barbecue a little bit. It's gonna be great, man. Y'all should come on through. Yeah, all right, man, I'll holler at you later. All right, click. Wait a minute. Did you just sit and have a fake improvisational conversation with your family multiple times a day? Multiple times a day? She sat there and heard him on the phone. All of it was not an Oscar-winning performance.
Every day.
Every goddamn day.
Every day. So that means every day this insane man picked up his phone and was having conversations with himself.
Every day. When he took you to the Audi dealership, the BMW dealership, the Mercedes dealership, she said she looked at so many cars. She was sick of looking at cars. For him to simply get the one car that she wanted as his business card on his fake business phone, which was prepaid minutes.
Which the car just came from a Google image.
All the photos from his house in California, when he said that his ex-wife's daughter died due to COVID.
It was her saying, I didn't have the heart to tell her. Bitch, I would have been on this phone like, do you know this dude
lied on your baby?
Hello? What do you mean you didn't have the heart? What do you mean you didn't have the heart to tell her? I would have been on the phone like, ma'am, this man has said your daughter has died. I have sent money, $2,000 to be exact, to help you.
It was insane. And she said, that woman said, he's never going to change. It's only going to get worse.
She said, because you are calling me, I know it has gotten bad.
And supposedly that wasn't the only wife. Remember, he had another wife, the Latoya, whoever it was.
That was listed in the obituary.
Because you never lived in San Diego to begin with, or whatever part of California or San Francisco. I think it was San Diego, though. And then he had always, the whole time, lived in Georgia for the most part, outside of Pennsylvania and Rhode Island as a child. So that means your previous marriage, and you talking about, hey, I'm going to my sister's house, that was really one of your exes?
And you know what? What bothered me even more was him putting a fake social security number on the marriage certificate.
Just like some of y'all be using them CPNs. He going to jail just like y'all.
And I said, what the fuck? Like, I was literally like, okay, I'm done with this. As soon as she dropped another bomb, I was like, okay, next story. Because wait a minute, I'm running to the next episode, because what in the fuck? It was really like, she's a great storyteller, and you almost like it was so insane that you almost didn't want to believe it. Like you have to be making this up. But she wasn't.
No, and you could
She
tell by her facial
wasn't.
expressions, like, this sis looked like she was tired of all this shit and exhausted and embarrassed. She didn't even tell her whole family at the time because she was too embarrassed and didn't know what to do. Because you know how y'all people are. Y'all would have clowned her.
And
why you do that? You dumb, da-da-da. But this man went through so many levels of lying that even if she would have stopped prior to marriage, the fact that he had lied so much to even get to that point, she would have had no clue. What embarrassed me is when they kept showing the homes, and he put in the all cash offer on a house that was over $700,000. But when it came to verifying the funds, refused. And it took a female real estate agent that told her something is wrong here.
I want both Scott, Amber, if
and
y'all ever
the other
see this,
Scott, and the
other Scott, if you're real, I want y'all to come together on TikTok and give y'all real estate, realtor POV. Because I can't only imagine going to see 25 plus houses, not like 5 or 6 or, even 10, 25 plus houses
with a fake Chase letterhead pre-approval that he made at somebody's house.
That motherfucker was working Canva overtime. I don't know what fucking Canva subscription he had. He must have the top of the line premium subscription on Canva because his ass was working overtime.
She was getting more open records requests than the Trump because,
God,
baby,
damn.
The work she had to put in to figure out the lies on the fake logo and the Google images, and then lied and he told the grandma they had a baby and it was a little boy, but he couldn't bring him because he had to work. But they had already lost the baby. You've been lying to this little old lady. Oh, and by the way, his parents didn't really start a church. Don't forget that part.
Lied and said the mom was a teacher and she was not a teacher. She was a substitute. She substituted occasionally.
The dad, what did he say his dad did?
He said his dad was in the law enforcement.
But his dad was a corrections officer?
And they're kind of skip ahead. Legion, took his dad's badge, impersonated a police officer. His correctional officer badge from his dad, impersonating a police officer, patting people down, searching through a random woman's home, and fucked up because she had connections to the real police. And you know what? And I wonder where he was really going throughout the day. Because she said
I've been wondering that.
She said he leaves at the same time every morning.
6:15.
And comes home at the same time every day.
Between 3:30 and 4.
Where the fuck are you going with no job?
But she said that he had money in his account, but we still think that was a fake account. But then she said somehow the bills were getting paid at the house.
Yeah, by the unemployment check.
Oh, yeah. Because she opened a backpack towards the end and found unemployment checks, weekend jail. What else?
Oh, God.
Prepaid phone receipts.
The phone with the images in it.
Don't forget that he was getting sauced and tossed and slobbed and knobbed by the professional lady worker, a lady of the night. Okay, do not forget. What?
By a prostitute. And then was already having, I don't know if there were emotional affairs, but I think he was looking for his next victim. And he had a slew of them in Facebook and was exchanging pictures. And that's why I was like, why was the prostitute your last straw to think God was going to bless you for divorcing this man? Baby, he was already, like, everything else was already bad. And I was like, if you want to be technical, God is love. So what part of that did you see that God was going to be like, you didn't try hard enough?
But wait, when she found, like she said, if they had not been quarantined, he would have already slept with those other women.
Yes.
Remember?
And she was appalled because he acted like so virginal with her, but was in there talking like a straight whore to everybody else.
He was saying all the nasty things to get y'all. Like, that's crazy. And then she actually had text message screenshots of him actually saying he got serviced by the lady of the night, aka the prostitute, and was actually getting serviced by Peaches. And you know she charged for raw dogging.
And where the hell you getting all this money to be getting hand jobs and stuff from Peaches?
Mind blown.
I can't go to London, but you got money for Peaches.
Then he told her, he gave her the itinerary. I'm taking you on a trip, and she's excited. This Negro can't even get a passport.
You're a felon.
You're not going, sir.
You're going to weekend jail. You can't even get off the go. You got to go to weekend jail.
And when she talked to him about weekend jail, he said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't. And in my heart, like, you could tell the most triggering, like, experiences for her when she was talking. Like, the miscarriage was very triggering for her.
Yeah.
Calling the ex-wife was triggering for her. I don't even think the housing situation was, like, triggering as much, but you could tell her calling the ex-wife was triggering. Her calling the goddamn family and the family telling her, my guy just a liar. We don't even fuck with him. Triggering. Because I can only imagine what was going through her mind through this whole time. It was like, who, literally, who the fuck did I marry?
Have you ever been with somebody that was dishonest like this a little bit?
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
Baby, when I tell you it took a little old white lady at the county to say, you sound really nice, ma'am. Sound like you probably have a good job and everything and sound, educated. And she said, go on OSCN, type in his name, and keep reading. Have you ever done this before? I said, no, ma'am, what's that? She said, an OSCN is, in the state of Oklahoma, it's the court records. And so when that woman taught me how to use OSCN, my mouth was open. I said, ma'am, thank you, because you'll never have to see from me again or hear from me again about any of this. I've been there. I ain't married that fool, but I still had some residual blowback. So I completely understand where she's coming from. These people absolutely exist. And the lies I learned back to back to back. It was so cold that when this fool got in trouble, somehow I still had his phone. I think they picked him up. And when they did, I still was left with his phone. It kept ching-a-ling-a-linging. And when I tell you it was one woman and another woman, and they all had different names and different places, but guess what? They all looked the same. We all looked similar. Swear to God. It got so bad the detectives would call me, Crystal, do you know anything about this? Do you know who this person is? Did you know that he worked here? I know about this. And I think I talked to that girl. She said this. I had to stitch the story together. I was the only person with all the pieces. It was humiliating. And I was so young. I was in my 20s. And when I tell you the stuff that came up missing, the lies, one time the fool told me he had cancer. And I looked at him and I said, cancer of the what? The mouth? Because the only thing that's dying on you right now, these words you're trying to drop on my ears. I was so done. When I tell you I did everything I could to put him up underneath the place with bars. Never again. And you know what was crazy? The women I tried to warn coming after me, because I knew they didn't know, because he was very attractive, smooth dresser, intelligent, talented. Still is to this day, because occasionally I still see him. And when I tell you, I remember some of the women like, you just jealous. You just blah, 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 blah. I said, let me tell you something. All that large wagon he dragging that you about to get mesmerized with is passed around. You don't even know how many other women right now are sharing him with you. And I'm trying to warn you. It took months later, almost a year. And some of those women started calling me back. I should have listened to you. I am so sorry I said the things I said to you. You were right. This happened to me. This happened to me. This happened to me. I lost my job here. I lost this here. I got charges pressed on me for this here. I said, I told you. You thought I was bitter, but I wasn't. I was trying to warn you. So, oh yeah, they exist.
Very much so. And that's why I'm like, I hate that everybody's like, well, okay, wrap this shit up by 3:00. No, we need to have these conversations because one, I hated how a lot of these women were coming at her. Like, oh, you a stupid bitch. You this, you that. Oh, I could never do this. You don't know who the hell you laying next to. Like, these men be having wives that you'll never know about, girlfriends, kids that you'll never know about, financial situations you'll never, criminal histories you'll never know about.
Mm-hmm. You have to know his real name first, what his mama named him, in order to look him up to find the criminal charges. But you think his name is, he
didn't give you his street name.
He didn't give you his name is Shaluscious, and you believed it. You didn't know Shalicious Brown wasn't his name.
Not a clue. And y'all, I know my man. And I had somebody like that before. It was like, I know my man. I got the password to his phone. I got this. I got that. I know where he at all times. I said, let me tell you something about a man.
To one phone.
He gonna do what he want to do. He don't care what password you got, what GPS locations you got, which schedule you know, what you don't know. If he wants to go do something, he's going to go do it. Period, point blank. You could think you know where this man at all times, and he could be out off the grid with somebody else living his best life, and you would never know.
Okay, wait. So since you said you had an experience with one of them, how did it go? I need a little snippet.
This person lied so much. And I was like, bro, you don't have to lie to me. Like, especially like if it comes down to infidelity and stuff like that. Yeah. I'd rather you be truthful about it. I'd rather you be completely truthful about it, because I'm just like, I'm going to find out anyway. Like, I'm not the person to lie to, because I'm like, especially if I feel like it's real sus, I'm like, no, I'm going to go FBI. Also, I'm neurodivergent, so I'm definitely going to deep dive into that if you lie to me. So I'm like, who is this person hitting me up? Like, the person was sending me like all types of text. I'm like, who is this woman? I've never seen this woman a day in my life. Why is this woman hitting me up? Why is it? I never seen that. This man created a fake email account. And how I know? Because I had already figured out who the person was that was doing it and who he was dealing with. I had already talked to her. I already knew her. I already confirmed with her. We already had a conversation. Me and her heard two completely different stories. He created a fake email account, emailed me. Now, that's how you how long ago this was. Emailed me and said, I have never messed with him. Wrote me a whole paragraph. How I know it was him, he can't spell. 1. 2, when you spelling stuff where a K belongs with C's, I already knew it was him. Emailed me from this girl. Put a picture up too. And like, you know, when you see people's email and they have their little picture up, went and got a picture from some random girl, put her in there. What? And he said, did you get an email? I said, yeah. Oh, I did too. What was the email? Yeah, look at this. He emailed himself from the email that he made up. He made this girl completely up to deflect from who he was really messing with. Gave her email, made her a Facebook page and a Twitter page.
What?
Was tweeting on the page. Crystal, had I not already talked to the woman that he was messing with, I would have really believed that. I would have really believed it. That's how bad it was. So that's why when she was telling her story, I'm like, no, people will go to these lengths to lie to you.
Yep.
And I was so blown away with, like, that was literally the last straw for me, because I was like, bro, you already a liar, but you are insane to create a whole fake woman with the email address, social media, talking to me, talking to you, when I had already convened and talked to the other women already.
Yo.
And you know what? He is married and has a kid or kids now. I pray for that woman, because I'm like, if he would do that, I don't know what else he'd be lying about to you.
Listen, but Risa Tisa, remember the part where she was saying that he was like, hey, some dude came over here in a black Charger.
That's what that
reminds me of.
That's literally what it triggered me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, guys, people do lie like this.
Mm-hmm.
Lie like this. And he is a terrible liar. Because one, I said, the first thing when she told me that, I said, where's your Ring camera?
Yep.
Then I said, where's your neighbor's Ring camera?
Yep.
But she said she had looked. I said, okay, because you know what? For you to open the door for 1 minute and close the door, ain't no way you had that whole dialogue in 1 minute and close the door.
But he knew the system would be on enough to show that it was going to open.
But he's stupid enough because you didn't keep the door open long enough to look like you had dialogue with anybody.
Right.
So that means you got your big wobbly ass up, you opened the door, you stood there musty as hell, closed the door and went and sat back down and got on the phone and said, some man in a black Charger came up here back there and he was looking for you.
But it gets better. After that part, when you fast forward, because you got to listen to it in chronological order, but when you get to the next part that goes much further in the future, he injures his knee or whatever, and we still don't know how this injury really happened. I got questions, but anyway, it could just be karma. Who knows? Mm-hmm. And so when she was telling him that she was about to beat him down, like what he was, and they started cleaning like together. He's like, I'm getting myself, I'm going, you know. And she said the Powerade bottles full of piss was
Crystal. That shit would have made me black out.
I was like,
I would have blacked out.
What?
I would have blacked out. That room would have been pissy as hell because the way I would have been throwing them piss bottles at him. If you don't what does that sound on TikTok? Get your big nasty ass up.
Yo, I was like, what?
You been sitting in my bed, pissing in a bottle?
For 2 weeks, because she said she had been looking up court documents and going back and forth trying to figure things out for 2 weeks. So at home, she was paying attention, but not really. He was in the bed laid up, you know, because he was injured. And so she just kept buying him drinks and stuff, thinking like, okay, at least he at home laying down. I can get away with kind of trying to figure this out while he's not paying attention to me. And he was peeing in bottles.
And then gonna say, I'm gonna clean it up. No, your big nasty ass should have been cleaning it up.
Oh my God. When she said that, y'all had some flashbacks from a place y'all don't ever want to go to with me. And I tell you, I know somebody else that has siblings that used to do stuff like that. And it's mind-boggling. You know how much aim that take?
Do you know how... So that means, that lets me know you ain't been washing your hands.
Or your ass.
So you just been sitting up there with your ass cheeks glued together with doo-doo, pissing in Powerade bottles, stinking up my whole fucking room with piss and BO.
Just burn the whole bed.
When she told me, and I was like, I hope, when she said she was moving, I said, I pray to God you didn't take that bed with you.
Okay. Baby, the outdoors can have it.
I'm done. Because when she said that, I literally had to comment on it because I was like, the piss and the Powerade bottles would have made me black out.
Me to heaven.
I would have blacked out in that house. He would not have made it to the front door. Everybody on that phone would have witnessed a snapped episode. Because how dare you? Not only are you a liar, but you trifling and you nasty as hell. And you got my room smelling like piss. Maybe I would have blacked out. Then we would have been playing Helen and Charles. We'd have been playing Helen and Charles. He would have been choking on them Powerade bottles. We were playing Saw games in that house.
Saw games.
Y'all would have called me Miss Jigsaw because we would have been playing fucking Saw games in that motherfucking house.
It was so insane the lengths this man was going to nonstop just to lie. And then in the end, when he tells her, I knew you would only be my girlfriend for a year, so I had to marry you.
No, you didn't.
No, you could have just left me the hell alone.
Like all the way the fuck alone. And my thing was, what I couldn't figure out what was his like means to an end. Like what was the intent? Like, you know, when people are pathological liars or like sociopaths like that, they normally have a goal in mind. Like, I'm gonna run her in the ground because I'm gonna take all her money. Or I'm gonna play the game because, you know, I can get this, and this out of her. All he got out of her was probably a place to stay.
But he needed that because once she told him it's over, remember he became low-key homeless after his family kind of like, who were you? Married. Married to who? We didn't even know he's still married to other women. No, he wasn't. But remember, so basically he was a hobosexual. He was hobosexual. He needed a place to stay. Being with her, because she went to his little studio in the beginning. Remember, she was like, it's kind of small. We can't stay here. Well, why don't we just come to my house?
Mistake.
No. Mm-mm. You can come by my house and chill, but you're going to go ahead and keep that little studio over there with your name on it because I'm not saying when I was young I was never dumb, but one thing I did do is keep my own space.
As you should.
Because I was like, because something go wrong, I don't have anywhere to live. Nope, just going to keep paying on this and hanging out over here. You can help me pay for this over here if you want, but it's going to get paid one way or the other.
She should have never, like her biggest mistake was moving that man in.
And when he found out, because somebody whispered in his ear, well, you still legally married to her, so technically it's still your place. And she had to figure out where she was going, what she's going to do, because she was in between moving into her new place, but still in the old place they were living in, even though she had changed the locks. And he got out of jail right in the nick of time with like a day or two to spare before she moved into the new place. And legally the police said that he could come back because it was their marital home. I know she must have been so stressed.
That whole play out of that part of the story had me clenching my asshole because I was like, baby, how are you going to get out of this? Like, what are you going to do? What's getting ready to happen? What did the police tell you? So when they found out he had a warrant out for his arrest, I said, okay, woo, girl.
We almost didn't make it, sis. But then the warrant expired. God damn it.
And she literally was like in the nick of time, moved out.
And then the divorce decree was in the mail.
Boy, when I tell
that
you,
day.
I said, I need this on a big screen, motion pictures. Pick it up. Because the way I was in suspense when she told me he was coming back home because he figured out he could come back home when the police said, yeah, he can. Bitch, I was scared. Asshole clenched in there keegly. Scared as hell. Because what are you going to do with this funky ass man? And then I'm like, he's probably going to try to kill her.
And then she was like, he's lost so much weight. Like she didn't even recognize. He went from a 3X down to like a medium large. You want me to feed you and clothe you after you done stole from me, lied to me?
She was kind of low key. I get it sometimes where you have to be nice and play the game. I get that. But she was overly too nice for me, which lets me know it's something that I noticed that she didn't say, is that she still loved him. She loved him. While he didn't love her, she loved him.
That's true. That's true. That's
and
true.
She didn't openly say that nor admit that, but her action said so.
Yeah.
Because why are you giving that man, because he walking out the fucking car looking like Hobo Jack with his pants hanging off his ass, give him $5 for chicken nuggets? Nigga, you can eat my ass. That's what you can eat.
And it's been so tied up in this mug because I'm stressful. It's going to be a lot in there to eat because I'm holding everything in.
Thank you.
Feed him a shit pie from the help.
You can eat my ass. That's free. So I was just kind of like, why in the hell did you give this man money? Why did you give this man anything of anything? Why were you calling and checking on him?
Didn't she say he was checking on her? But there was a part where she said she was trying to find him here and there.
Yes. I couldn't find him. I was looking for him. He already signed the papers. Yeah. There's nothing to look for this man for. Who cares? Well, I was the only one that called around to see where he was at. Who gives a fuck?
Baby, you couldn't pay me to look for nothing.
I wouldn't look for him at all. That, quite frankly, you could be under the bridge for all I care in the ocean floating away.
Like a lot of people that she did find that really weren't his friends and family said, I don't care where he is. Whatever happens, happens.
Which is why I said, I'm going to have to side eye you, baby, because, and I kind of to an extent understand.
Yeah.
You still loved him.
Her heart was still invested.
And you were willing to do what more than what you should have done for him.
Yep.
And you've given him way more grace than he had ever deserved.
Yep.
And I saw from my PO, like from somebody looking on the outside, looking in, he wanted to come back to you because he knew you was dumb. He knew you was dumb.
Or what if we don't call her dumb? What if we just say that she had a big heart? But see, this is why I think sometimes it's important that we don't teach people to do everything from their heart, because people see that and they take advantage of it. And there's got to be some balance in there. It's got to be some balance in there. And so this poor baby was literally doing things from her heart, and he saw that. And he took advantage of her kindness and her desire to be loved, her desire to feel like she could be somebody's wife, her desire to be a mother, and she was just all around like a good person. But let me tell you something, y'all. They still out there. Listen, a few seasons ago, I was going on some dates, I lie to you not. And I remember that when I was out, there was a person, and something just was cool, but something wasn't right by the second or third date. I couldn't figure out what it was. And I was like, this ain't mathing like it used to. And so I said, I asked to see the ID, grabbed that ID, took a quick little picture. Made sure when I got some alone time, I was straight black woman FBI. Called a couple friends. Hey, listen, something ain't right. He ain't as bubbly as he normally is. He seems a little edgy. Look this up for me. Here's a picture. Here's the ID. Here's the address. Here's the everything. And what did we find?
I would like to hear it.
This person, while out with me, very attractive, worked in software and all this in IT and, and literally was still married.
Yeah. That's
to who?
That's a word.
Never told me he was married. Lied about it. He lived in one place. The wife was in a different state. So I looked up and found her. And then one day he said something to me, and I said, you know what? My stomach hurts. I think I gotta go. I'm so sorry. Where are you going? I said, well, you seem like you're not feeling too well. And I made sure that day I bought some groceries anyway. And I was going to cook a little dinner, try to be kind, say thank you for the hospitality. And I did that. And I noticed that he didn't pick up the whole tab for the groceries. I'm doing the cooking and I'm the guest. So why aren't you picking up the whole tab for the groceries? So whatever. We split some things. I'm like, got you. Okay. And so I did that. And after I got to scooping them little pops up, I said, ooh, this smells a little hobo-ish. I mean, you got a place smell a little hobo-ish. The place is clean, but whose name is this place really in? So I cooked that little meal up, smiled real sweet, got a picture of that ID, ran that mother tucker like I couldn't believe it. And I swear to God, it came back with a different name, with a wife in another state. I found out so much stuff. And he's like, well, you don't really call me no more. I said, who is Shelly? Oh, baby, when I tell you that phone got silent. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, no, what do you mean? I told you there's one big rule and you don't lie to me. There's no need to lie to me because I'm a person that's easy to talk to. Who's Shelly? I said, well, let her know I said hi and asked how she's doing. I hope she's doing well. I know she lives on ABC 123 Street. And if I need to, I can go knock on her door, but I really don't want to have to do that. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to never call me again, and I'm going to do my best to not report you.
Period.
Okay? And any little chance you thought you had of becoming a citizen of anything will disappear quickly. Okay? So you just leave me alone. You have a good day. When I tell you hot and bothered, called me 2-3 times after that, I said, now listen, you want me to press the go button or not? Got the picture. But when I tell you that was a few seasons ago. And that was fine. When I tell you, people was like, sis, that's you? I was like, maybe, I don't know yet. Let me get back with you. When I tell you the con game was strong.
Boy.
And that wasn't the only one. I had to karate chop a couple other ones like that. I was like, y'all are out here thick. One was pretending to be a nurse. A lot of you not. It didn't take me long, though. One time he talking to me, had a little badge on, and I saw a little A at the end. And you know what that was? CNA. Caught it. I said, show me your cute little work picture on your badge. People always look cute on their work pictures. I had already peeped game.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. He was a homeless one too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, I know everybody's like, I don't want to keep hearing about it. That it didn't start. The man lied. No, y'all need to have these conversations because you don't know who the fuck you're marrying sometimes, who you're dating, who you're talking to. And I think she, in her story, it kind of supported that rally that we always say of really look at who you're dating. Look at who you're dating. Look at who you're talking to. Look into their family tree.
Yep.
You don't know. Like, one thing that I talk about quite often with my mom sometimes is she was saying, like, people have mental health issues. Look into their family tree. You don't know what you're passing on to your kids. You have no idea. You just looking at him because he looked fine, he looked good, he talked funny, whatever. Then you laid up and had a kid, and you trying to figure out why he Ted Bundy.
Or Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, like, girl, the importance of looking at people's family tree and knowing who you're dealing with. And it's like not even about like, oh, I got crimes. Like, yeah, of course we care about like whatever criminal activity you've done. But at the same time, like mental health. Who are you as a person? What are your values and beliefs? I don't even know if she had those conversations with him.
I'm gonna think not.
No.
I did kind of wonder if it was the cheesecake dates or the Red Lobster dates that should have kind of told her a couple of things, but not really, because going to those places is bad for people. I don't agree that it's bad for people. No. Some people enjoy it, some don't. But I was like, those are really interesting, mainstream, weird places to be eating when you live in a city like Atlanta. You have so many other options.
He wasn't willing to invest in her.
This dude, he was a bottom barrel dude taking her like old school bottom barrel places to eat that used to be popular 30 years ago.
But I feel like that also played a big part in her self-esteem.
This is true.
And I applaud her for taking accountability for that and saying, look, I wanted it to be my turn. But I'm like, did your turn consist of you taking the bare minimum?
Yeah.
And that's how you felt like that's all you deserved was the bare minimum. That's what broke my heart for her. Mm-hmm. Because this man from the get-go, day one, was giving you bare minimum.
And then she was like, somebody said that, look at you. Why would you think a VP would want you? I know we're not trying to act like because she was thick about the body. Okay, whether she had a big back or not, that's not important. The point is that anybody at any size can still be loved and valued and appreciated by anybody.
Definitely.
Size has nothing to do with it. So to think that a person's executive wouldn't want a plus size woman, that's a lie from the pit of life. Because if you go to a lot of these major corporations and take a picture of them and their girlfriend or wife, a lot of times those have been married for years or longer got wives looking like Humpty Dumpty. So mind your business on that one. Like, that was real rude.
That was nasty. Like, and a lot of people said nasty stuff about her. And my heart reached, like, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you, T. Sabrisa. I had a couple, are you dumb? Comments throughout the thing. But when I got to the end, I understood where you were. And I'm like, I don't think that, you know, of course, with the internet, when you go viral or anytime you put yourself out there in the internet world, you are, you know, subjected to the nastiest people to say the foulest stuff to you because they're behind a keyboard and they're behind a phone. But, you know, I applaud her for taking accountability, for saying, like, yeah, I was desperate. I was desperate. I just wanted to be my turn. I wanted to be married. I wanted to be happy. But, you know, I think that is such a sad thing that the desperation of having a partner trumped her common sense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And I feel like, for me, I was sad that she didn't respect herself enough in the moment. She kept second guessing her own voice. There were times where she was like, I was keeping an audio diary because this happened, that happened. Every time. I'm like, sis, did you hear what you just said? You just said that you don't even feel secure enough in the words or the actions of what's going on, that you are keeping an audio diary of the chain of events. That's your inner self saying, ching-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Okay? That might be the Lord tapping you on the shoulder like, listen, this right here is where you tap out. But she kept suppressing and doubting herself. And I think we got to have conversations about individuals, men and women, who doubt their own abilities and doubt their own reason and doubt their own voice. When that little voice inside of you, call it what you want, when it gets to ringing the bell and asking some questions, you better listen.
That's your gut. Sometimes, and then, like, you can call this your gut, your intuition, your spirituality, your ancestors,
whatever
God, whatever. Listen to it when it is telling you no. When your body is, you will physically manifest, like, the rejection of what is happening here. Everything was there. But you know what? We're going to have to do a part 2 to this because it's still more to unpack in this story.
So much more.
It's so much more to unpack in this story. So I'm Andy.
And I'm Crystal, y'all. And, baby, y'all was cutting up on this one because she had millions of views. Okay, so we're uncut. We're going to cut up and do a part 2 of this.
Okay, and use case search.
All day.
Hell.
Peace, y'all.
Bye.
The Uncut Chronicles is part of the Breaking Ice Building Bridges community podcast platform brought to you by Possibilities.